It is Sunday morning and I am ready to whip up some pancakes. This is the day after we made the omelets and you know, the bacon and everything. I'm ready to go for it. And I decided to heck with it. I'm not going to wait to get a cover for the grill. I went down to Walmart and picked up a nice 70-incher the other day. 70-inch one. It was reasonable price. I went ahead and bought it. I want this grill well protected. This is one of those, it's not a plastic kind. It'll crack and break and, you know, piece of junk. It's a good one. And a lot cheaper than the one I think that Blackstone was selling, but I like it. Covers the entire thing all the way to the bottom. I like that. So let's get cranked up here. Because of all the rain we've been having and continue to have, a lot of the wildflowers or just regular flowers are still blooming around here. This, of course, is your I think that's the black-eyed Susie, I think. And then we've got a blue one over here. And I haven't been able to figure out what this one is here. We'll go ahead and pluck one of these. I can't figure it out. We looked at the Arkansas wildflower listing and haven't been able to come up with what this one is. It's kind of neat, really. My son and his wife, Jamie, and their little son, I shouldn't say little son anymore, I should say their son, John, Little John, we call him, all just came back from a 7-day cruise. And they stopped off on the way home. And these are some of the pictures I had taken when they were on the cruise. Now check this out. Is this guy getting to be, is this kid getting to be a real full-grown man or not? Check that out. Jeez. That's amazing. Then we got mom and dad. Then mom and son. And then we got all three of them. All taken on the ship. And then of course we got dad and son. This is one I like right here. That's pretty good there. That's really great. Where's the solo picture of dad here? Apparently
we didn't
not.
Do solos.
You didn't do solos? Oh, you should have. Anyway, they apparently had a good time. That looks really great. Those are some superb pictures of John. And mom and dad.
Doesn't he look like such a little young man there?
Yeah, he does. He looks like a little, I don't know, he either looks like a chauffeur or a mafia up-and-comer. I'm not sure which. You know, that black suit, it's like, don't mess with me, boy. You know, I can do things to you, you know. You like this one? I liked that one, too. That is kind of a nice one.
Now you got a bug that killed himself on that.
All right. All right, we're getting ready to put the old pancakes on here. Pour some pancakes. I'm going to cook them in a little bit of butter instead of oil. I've got the flame down on medium. Let's see what we can do here. We whipped up our old-fashioned pancakes. Yes. Let's see what we can do here. There's one. All right, this is going to be fun. By the way, the old-fashioned pancake mixing recipe is on YouTube. Just type in old-fashioned pancakes. You'll get yourself some really good poop on that. Let me finish putting them on here. Here's another one. I'm not exactly certain what it is. Kind of neat. We got a whole pile of these. This might just be another type of black-eyed Susie or something. Don't know. Well, it's about 10:30 at night, and I just got done walking the dog after work, and I noticed this low-hanging moon just above, maybe halfway up a tree, just hanging low to the ground. And of course you can hear all the night sounds again. Pretty cool, I think. It's real orange. I don't know if you can make that out. Now here's something cool. Check this little model out of the Carnival cruise ship they were on. You were on that newly renovated one. What do they call it?
Sunshine. The
Sunshine. It used to be the what was it called?
Destiny.
It was the Destiny, yeah. And they remodeled it at $155 million. And it's now called the Sunshine. But see, this is not just a keychain with a little boat on it. No. What this is is a USB connector, a USB flash drive that has all the pictures on it. So we can plug it in the computer and download what we want and print them out ourselves. Is that cool? Yes, that is cool. That's cool, Jamie.
I did it just for you.
I know you did.
It was my idea.
Well, so far so good. The daughter's over here whipping up some sausages. This ought to be pretty good. First time ever for pancakes on this grill. I think they're going to turn out great. Then we have these little white ones also. Not 100% sure what they are. They're kind of scattered around here and there in the deeper grass. Anyway, you know, somebody might say, well, what's so big about, you know, flowers in the summertime? Well, it isn't very big. However, in Arkansas, it's a pretty big deal. In Arkansas, usually the temperature is usually so hot and so dry that everything just sort of withers up and turns brown in the summer. But not this year. Lots of rain this year. Here's one of those white ones with the center. I don't know. It may be one of the blue flowers and what it looks like early. I don't know. And then there's the saltwater taffy. Oh, I love the saltwater taffy. They got me 4 boxes. I asked for 3. Never fails. I could eat saltwater taffy since I was a kid. I have liked saltwater taffy. There's the old ship there. Wifey and I are considering going on a cruise to Alaska on Norwegian Cruise Lines. I'm really looking, maybe next year. Right now it's planned for next year. I hope we can do it. I want to go to Alaska. Here's a whole pile of those purple ones. Whole clumps and clumps of them. They look really cool. I really like flowers in summertime, you know. They look neat. There's some more of the yellow ones. Well, guess what? We just ran out of gas. Well, we overcame. We have adapted. We have overcome. I've got the big old iron skillet out. We put it on the stove. She finished frying up this sausage. It's going to work. Everybody's going to be happy. Everybody's going to be happy. You happy? She's happy. Everybody's happy. Say, I'm happy. Yeah, see, she's always not happy.
I've survived my dad's blunder.
It's not a blunder. I ran out of gas. Not my fault. Well, it came out okay, even though we had to cook on wifey's stove inside to finish everything up. I was not happy about that at all. And I'm unable to clean the grill because I don't have any heat. So I'm going to be running this old tank down here, see if I can't pick up another propane tank and come back and get this baby cleaned. And you know, we're not done yet. Never give up the ship. In about 30 to 35 minutes, I'm going to be placing these 2 bread pans with some bread that I made. It's just been sitting here rising in the pan for the last hour and a half. That's the last step. And it's called artisan bread. Artisan bread. And we're going to give it the old shot. Here's the second loaf. And we're going to see how that works. I'm going to put it in the oven. I'm going to bake it for 45 minutes. And then we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. We've got a fresh tank of gas on this old Blackstone griddle. So what I'm going to do now is remove the cover, and we're going to have to clean it from where we left it last time. I couldn't get it clean because it didn't have any gas left. But we're good to go now. Let me get the top off here. I think before I put the heat to this grill, right now it's not, it's not hot. I still got it cold. Before I get ready to clean it with the water in the rag, using the steam and all that, I'll go ahead and wipe off as much of the accumulated grease that we had on it last time from cooking those pancakes. Because guess what? After we get this thing all clean and we put the cover back on, tomorrow morning we're going to give another try with those pancakes. Now that we have enough gas to sustain us. Now the old stove is at 400 degrees. Now we're going to go ahead and take our bread and put it in the stove in the middle rack. You don't want it too low or too high. You want it in the middle rack, and we're going to set the timer for 45 minutes. And when it comes out, if it looks good and it tastes good, I'll show you how I made it, okay? Alright, we got her fired up. One thing I noticed about this grill already, once you get the first burner going, you should look down in there, of course. There's a space right here where you can look down in there. to see if that grill is actually lit, and you can see that it is right there. As you turn the rest of them on, I think you should come over. It might be a good idea to come over and kind of peer down in here and make sure all 4 of those babies are burning. It's possible one of them might not be burning, develop a bunch of gas under there, and then all of a sudden, bam, you know, just ignite. So it might be a good idea to do it. That's the way I think I'll do it from now on. It's up to you, though. Well, the grill is smoking, and I'm going to go ahead and I don't want to put any cold water on this thing, you know, to create the steam when it's too hot. I want all the smoke to burn off, and I want to get it down. I think the other day we had like, what, 150, 160. That's probably a good temperature. Alright, she's about right. Now our grill is about clean. Just throw a little water on that like that. I've just done it all the way around. There's a spot over there I should probably hit one more time. Kind of hard to do this with the camera in one hand and rag in the other. There we go. We're looking pretty good. So what I'll do now is let it cool down a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and put some oil on it. We'll oil it up, but I'm going to use oil. I'm going to go ahead and use Crisco this time. Crisco does a great job of seasoning. Well, we're down to 30 minutes left of cooking the bread, and boy, I'll tell you what, this kitchen sure smells good. The whole thing smells. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. I don't know, I've never had it before. I can't wait to put my choppers over it, you know. You know, I remember as a kid, my mother had a cast iron griddle she used to put on top of the stove. It was, you know, maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe a foot wide, maybe 2.5 feet long. And she would heat it up. It was just a flat thing. She would sit it on the stove. We had a gas stove in those days, and they used bottled gas, you know, those tall, skinny bottles. I don't know if they even sell them anymore or use them anymore. But she used to cook our pancakes on that griddle. And she would take Crisco and a piece of folded up waxed paper. And that's how she applied the grease on the griddle to keep the pancakes from sticking. I remember her doing 1, 2. She used to be able to cook 3 pancakes at a time. And she'd take that old Crisco, just dip it down in there. And sometimes she used lard because that's all we had. And, you know, depending on what our family budget was at the time. But she would make a circle, and a circle, and then she'd pour the batter in each one. But, so, you know, I'm going to take a little Crisco here and smear it around, see if I can't rub a little Crisco into this grill also. It works really great. Alright, she's ready. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. Ooh, that looks really good. Let's get them out of there. Well, that about finishes it up. Now, as I told you in the last Mish-Mash video when I first got this Blackstone griddle, I told you that, you know, seasoning is a continuous ongoing process. It is. You know, take care of the grill. Season it properly every time, before use if need be, after use for sure. And, you know, it's the old story. Take care of your griddle, and it will take care of you. By the way, in the last Mish-Mash video was where I introduced the Blackstone grill that I eventually bought by showing a, you know, I showed a segment of I'm a Junk Collector's video where he was cooking on his, and I said, man, that really caught my eye and caught my attention, and it did. And I just continued on with the video. Well, one of the commenters, one of our subscribers, what's his name? Let me think. Oh yeah, old Radio Al. Old Radio Al says, you know, John, you know, you got a cool grill, everything's fine, yeah, wonderful and all that. However, don't you think that I'm a Junk Collector should have gotten a shout out for that? Well, I kind of thought I did by showing his part of his video in my video, but apparently maybe I should have gone that extra step and done an official Joe Earn One shout out for one of our subscribers. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, since I'm a Junk Collector is the one that, you know, is now enabling me to have some fun with this thing. Had I not seen his video, had he not put it in his video, I wouldn't even know it existed. So I'll tell you what, we all know what that means. Shout out to I'm a Junk Collector. Well, there's the artisan bread. The thing I like about the artisan bread is it's easy to make. Only takes a couple of ingredients, and when you're done, you have a soft inside and a hard outside. You know, nice crusty homemade bread, the way it's supposed to be. Listen up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let it cool down now. We'll try it out as soon as it cools down. The griddle is covered back up. My daughter's working today. It's Saturday. She has to work one Saturday a month. And it is ready for tomorrow's second pancake extravaganza. Alright, the first thing we have to do is see if the bread's going to come out of the pan. If I did it right, the bread should just fall out. If not, wifey's going to have a job. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness sakes, it's still nice and warm. Alright, we're going to take the old bread knife here. We're going to slice off. You want the heel? You want the butt?
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants the butt. Now you be careful. I don't want you. I'll just go ahead and shut the camera off and do this.
I'll cut it for you.
No, it's alright. I don't want to take a chance of cutting you. Well, there it is. And wifey, she's going to put some butter on it. Yeah, she's going to get the, she wants the crust, the end. And Grandma and I'll, great-grandma and I'll get the other two pieces. Wow. Man, I'll tell you what, this is some pretty good stuff. But it's not good until the expert says it's good. Let's ask her. Let's get the opinion from the expert. She's taking a bite. She's got her cup of coffee. What do you think of the homemade bread?
Good.
What?
It's real good.
It is pretty tasty, ain't it? Wow, I'm surprised to no end. That's the first time I've ever made it, Grandma.
Really is.
Yeah, it was easy to make too. I'm gonna show everybody how to do it. Wifey, she's feeding it to the dog. Must not be very good, huh?
Not as good as mine.
Not as good as yours.
Mine's lighter. This one's real heavy.
It's artisan bread. It's different, you know.
Yeah,
So you don't like it?
Yeah, I like it. It don't taste
Tastes
bad.
pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it tastes pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. All right. Little wifey decided to go take herself a nice leisurely bath, you know, a soaking kind of bubble bath type thing. And she yells from the bathroom, you know, John, peel up 15 potatoes. Peel up 15 potatoes. Does she not understand who the king of the house here is? Well, I'll go ahead and appease her one time. As it turned out, she said, just open, they're in that new bag of potatoes I bought. Well, guess what? 15 potatoes was only 16 in the whole bag. So I might as well go ahead and peel them all up. As promised, I said if the bread turned out good and tastes good, I was going to show you how I made it. Well, guess what? It did turn out good. It tasted great. Now, this bread has the texture, I discovered, of sourdough bread. But it doesn't taste like sourdough bread. It just has that sort of texture. And I'm a big sourdough bread guy anyway. So it really just hit the spot. The best part about this bread is you don't have to do any work. You don't have to do anything, really. All you need is 4 ingredients. Bread flour. I use the gold medal, or you can use regular all-purpose flour. I happen to like the bread flour. I've tried it, never tried it before. Works good. And and I don't know where we got this thing. It was Walmart. And you need some of this fast-acting, rapid-rising yeast. These little packets. Or you can get it in a jar. I understand. I've never purchased any before until now. And you need some salt, just regular old ionized table salt. And you need some cool water. That's right, cool water, not warm. And all we're going to do is take this cup. The first thing we're going to do is take 3.5 cups of bread flour. And we'll probably have to refill it. But 3.5 cups of bread flour go in there. Let's get that done. Alright, there's 3 in there, and there's a half. 3.5. That's it. Now the next thing we do is we take 2 teaspoons of salt. And here's the 2nd teaspoon of salt. We got 3.5 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt. Now we need a teaspoon of yeast. 1 teaspoon of yeast going in. Alright, now all we have to do is take this spoon and stir everything. Just stir it. Really mix it up good. Don't add water until you've mixed it real good, okay? So let's do some of that. You gotta really give it a good mix. Really give it a good mix. Everything is mixed well. Now the whole idea of mixing it well is, you want the yeast and the salt and the bread flour to be, you want all that stuff evenly distributed all the way around. Alright, the last thing we do is we take 14 ounces of cool water, just right out of the old tap, and pour it in there. And this bread requires no kneading whatsoever. None at all. That's why I like it. You know, 4 ingredients, no kneading, and it tastes great. So here's now 14 ounces is about 1 3/4 cups. Now keep in mind, you know, the old flour and everything. If you get a little bit too much, or a little bit too little, it won't matter. You know, it's like the guy said in the YouTube video I watched when he made artisan bread. He said it's very forgiving. You know, so if you're a little bit off on your ingredient amounts, it's not a big deal. He's exactly right, because I was a little bit off on the first ones I made no difference at all. Okay, I've done my mixing. Remember, do your mixing first. Now we pour our water in. Now we'll put in 3/4 more of a cup, which is 6 ounces. Alright, now we'll pour that in there. Now all I'm going to do is start mixing. I'm going to start mixing it around. It'll form into a round gooey ball in like 15 seconds or less. I'll have to do that off camera because I got to hold the bowl with one hand. Well, there it is. It's all away from the sides, and it's a big gooey ball. And it took longer than 15 seconds. I timed myself when I did it. It took 26 seconds. 26 seconds of mixing this thing, really folding it around, and then that's it. I stopped because it was all mixed and it was not sticking anywhere. And that's it. We are done, folks. That's all there is to it. 26 seconds worth of manual labor. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this saran wrap. I'm going to take it out of the box. I'm going to cover it, and then I'm going to cover that with a towel, dry towel. Then I'm just going to let it set overnight. Alright, the saran wrap is on. Then we take a towel and just lay over the top and set it to the side until tomorrow morning. Time to make the second one. Well, there's the second one. And then we'll set them aside together. You know, it's interesting nowadays. When I was growing up, my mom used to make bread and stuff like that, and pies and whatnot. And she would mix in the yeast and everything. Then we'd wait for the dough to rise. Well, that's not what it is anymore nowadays. Rising dough? Oh, no, no. Now it's called proofing. Proofing the yeast. You gotta be kidding me. How could we have been so wrong all those years? By the way, folks, we have a newcomer on the radio restoration scene. He may have been doing radios for years, I don't know, but he's new to our YouTube gathering here. His name is Buzz1151. And right now he's in part 4 of restoring a 1929 Philco Model 86. You will find his you will find his 4 parts that he's done so far to the restoration of this Philco 86. You will find him to be very entertaining. So I'll tell you what you do. Let's all pitch in. He's only got 18 subscribers. This guy should have a whole lot more than that. He's really funny. He really is, especially part 4. Part 4 was I have to comment to it, but that was one of the funniest videos I've seen in quite a while, and he's doing it while restoring this radio. So I want all you folks, if you have time, you know, all our subscribers, go over and check him out, and I guarantee you, you're going to subscribe to him as soon as you start watching his videos. You're going to say, this guy's pretty good, and you're going to subscribe to him anyway. So let's up his subscriber count from 18 to what it should be, okay? It's the next day, and this stuff now has been setting for about 12 hours, and proofing. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and open it up and see how well it's done. It should be pretty well ballooned up. Oh yeah, look at that, man. That's twice the size that we put in there. All right, let's try this one. See what this one looks like. Ooh, this is another one. Again, twice the size. It is about ready. Now I could go ahead and leave it for another 12 hours if I wanted to. Makes no difference. Boy, I'll tell you what, that's got a strong yeast smell. I could get drunk here. The next thing we have to do is spray the inside of our bread pans, which reminds me, I probably should buy a couple more of these things. And you know, you can use your Pam, or I bought this olive oil spray. I think what I'll do is I'll spray this one with olive oil and spray this one with Pam. Give it a good spray down. You want to make sure it's really covered, okay? Now we'll take a little bit of that bread flour, not a whole lot, you know, just kind of enough to smooth it around on the board here. This is kind of a rough surface board, so it does pretty good. It just doesn't slide around. It actually stays in there. Then we'll cover as much as we can. Then we're going to go ahead and scrape out using a spatula. You know, this little old blue spatula right here. I'm going to scrape out the dough from the bowl into the flour. You see how stringy it is down there toward the bottom as I pull it away from the bowl? See a stringiness right there? That tells you that the yeast has done its job and this stuff is ready to be taken out of the bowl. And you notice it doesn't stick to the bowl. It just rolls right out all by itself. Let's get it the rest of the way out. The last thing I have to do is get a little flour on my hands, you know, and just not a whole lot on both hands like that. And then I'm going to flatten this thing out. Not real flat, just kind of push it down a little bit. Alright, she's all flattened out just a little bit, not much. You see there, it's a little over a ½ inch thick. And you know, I've got a light dusting of flour on top here so I can go ahead and touch it without it sticking to my hands, okay? Now all we're going to do is fold it just like an omelet. We're going to fold one side in and the other side on top. And it doesn't matter which direction you go from. And I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead. Let's just do it this way. There's a dough scraper you can buy. It's a big long plastic thing, got a sharp edge. You can slide it under there and fold it over. I don't have one. Didn't even know they existed until a couple days ago. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my old my Blackstone griddle spatula. So we're going to go ahead and fold it over like that, just like that. Then we'll fold the other side over, same way. Get it right on up there. Kind of hard doing it with a camera in one hand. Normally the camera helps out. But we'll go ahead and shape it here a little bit. And once I get it shaped, I'm going to pick it up and put it inside that bread pan. Now you can make this the bottom, or you can make the other side the bottom. It's entirely up to you. I'll probably have to add a little more flour just to make sure it doesn't stick. Let's get it in there. Well, there it is. Now all I have to do is do the same thing to the next bowl of proofed dough. Well, there we go. Now we let it set for an hour and a half. Just cover it up, let it set for an hour and a half. And when the hour and a half is done, we just pop them in the oven just like you saw earlier in the video. And that is how artisan bread is made. No effort at all. Lots of fun to make. Tastes great. Okay, next up will be the pancake extravaganza, which we will do next time. Until then, this is John. I decided to go ahead and make 2 more loaves of this artisan bread, because the first loaf I made, it just disappeared. You know, I mean, it was so good. And this time I decided to put butter, you know, coat butter, after it sat for an hour and a half in the bread pan. I put some butter on the top all the way over and then baked it that way. Now this one did not have butter on it. This was pretty brown still, but this one has more of a golden brown look. And I'll tell you what, I think practice is already beginning to make perfect.